Does this mean we have to be quiet for a whole minute?
No, you don't have to be quiet anymore. No, you don't have to be quiet anymore. No, you don't have to. All right, welcome to another Biddle on Saturday night, and we already have a bunch of people here already. What's going on?
Yeah, it's all good. We're live. Loving it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All right. So we were having a conversation before we started, and we figured we would save it for now because, you know, it's always one of those interesting security conversations about whether we should or shouldn't be upset about distros. Like, there was a YouTube video put out by QuidsUp saying that there was spyware in Deepin OS. So
who's that? That's not me, is it? No.
I'm gonna mute you, Lamer, until we get that sound figured out. But
yeah.
So QuidsUp put a video out that said there was spyware in Deepin, and that's one of the things that it wasn't major, like, oh my gosh, spyware, but it was definitely statistical data communicating back to outside servers. And it was a tracking company. And this is one of the things, what does everybody think about something like that? Because that's one of the reservations that I've always had about Deepin specifically, that you didn't know what it was going to have inside of it.
I'm with you. I agree with that.
For those of us that don't know exactly what that distro is, who puts that out and who's it for?
It's a Chinese distro.
Know. Oh,
it's a Chinese-based distro.
Okay.
Yeah, it's predominantly for the
Chinese distro
that I don't think the Chinese like anything that comes out of any other country other than their own. So I think a lot of the suspicion came from the fact that although it is an open source Linux distribution, there seems to be an awful lot of stuff in there that you can't really work out what it's doing. And the only thing that I'm still slightly suspicious of is, although he found out this information and the guy from Deepin has come back and said, oh, it's just a tracking company, don't worry about it, there's about 3 or 4 little JavaScripts that it runs that nobody's been able to decipher yet. So there might still be something more behind it. But I mean, I think it's a bit of a storm in a teacup, to be honest with you.
Why does it need the JavaScripts in the first place?
I don't know. Why does any Linux distribution need any script that it's running? Because that's the way they run it, and that's why it looks so damn good. My argument would be, if it was that bad, surely the NSA and or some type of government organization would do the same as they did to Kaspersky. Take it off. Don't use it. The Russians are spying on you. Surely they would have done the same thing against China.
Somehow, the difference, I think, is that with Kaspersky, one, you're paying for it. This is, you're not paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one.
Kaspersky was free, though, wasn't it? They had a free one as well, Kaspersky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Kaspersky, they had said that that wasn't just recent. That was a number of years ago, but then people continued to use it anyway. I think the first time they flagged it was like 2004, 2005.
Yeah, but I think
the first time the NSA flagged it.
I think this info that they're sending back to their servers is just miscellaneous info. You know, you had said what it was actually transporting back, a display size and, you know, what you're using, but it's nothing that the government needs to get involved with to say stop using it, but it is something alarming for a Linux distro to have built into it. Especially if they're not especially if they're not telling you it's there. And if QuidsUp wouldn't have put this video out, none of us would still not even know that it was there. And that's what's upsetting.
Well, there's some naysay at the bottom that was harping on about it all day long, and he's sitting there with a big grin on his face at the moment, or he should be if he can hear us.
He be in the house.
He's still trying to work out Zoom. Bless him, he's getting old. Look at him. Look.
Oh my gosh. Crystal, what do you think?
Well, I don't know a lot about Deepin, but I do know that there's been talk and that there's been like people asking questions about whether Deepin Linux is installing spyware on your computer since the middle of last year sometime. So presumably this guy is not the first to have picked up on this, the guy who made this video.
Yep.
But yeah, it's sort of curious, and it's also unexpected, because you would think, because it's open source, that if there is any sort of weird stuff going on, then people should have sort of detected it much earlier.
That is, if somebody or somebody's actually have the time and the inclination to go through it all. That's where it's the other thing.
But
there's always sit there and go through everything. I'm not.
There's always people willing to go through this code. I mean, there's people that are willing to sit there and read a EULA.
That's true.
Yeah.
So there'll always be someone in the community somewhere who would have checked this out for us. I mean, there was another chap who did another video, and he said he left it running there for 15 minutes after just starting it up, and there were like 4 suspicious URLs, but there was no indication as to what was being captured or what data was being collected. Just that he hadn't instigated anything, but it had gone off to talk to some site somewhere that was based in China. So,
oh, that to me, I mean, maybe I'm paranoid or whatever, but that would be enough for me to not want to use it. I was suspicious of it from the beginning. And the other one that I'm suspicious of is, what is it, Rosa or something? The one from Russia. Yeah.
Rosa Fresh, yeah.
Yes, yep. I would be suspicious of that too. Just even if all they're doing is seeing what monitor I'm, what my monitor is and all that kind of junk. First of all, they don't need to know that. If I haven't given them permission to have that information, I don't want them to know it.
Well, I think they just want to send ads your way, which is what Google does anyway. So they
don't want ads.
They're constantly bombarding me with ads with whatever I've visited. So iPhone does it. A guy at work was saying he was talking about something with his girlfriend, and then iPhone came up with something that he was talking to her about. He didn't even have his phone. He wasn't even searching. He was just talking. So, I mean, they're all doing it.
That is scary.
They all want to make money by advertising, Right. I mean, that's just the way it works, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, if we're specifically talking Deepin, they have contracts with the Chinese government, which, okay, I get why people are skeptical. Same with Rosa, if I'm not mistaken. Like the whole point of those distros is basically to replace Windows, more or less.
Yes.
And I don't. It is concerning. I think that there are certain things about it that as Zeb said, storm a teacup kind of thing, because there's going to be certain things that an OS has to do regardless. I view this as kind of the Amazon Lens thing with Ubuntu a few years ago. And that reaction, I think Deepin has a better responsibility to be more transparent in order to be a better, open source citizen or whatever you want to call it, about what they're doing with this data. And that's where I kind of fall down on it. And
what are they actually taking? That's the other thing. I mean, and that's what bothers me. If I don't know what they're what they're taking, and I haven't given them permission, then and if they're not going to allow me to say no, I don't want this, then I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to trust it. And maybe that's the paranoid me. I don't know.
I think we should treat it like we treat any state-sponsored media.
Ah, yes. Thank you.
That's the blanket right there.
Yep.
Litmus done.
But the most concerning thing is that if, like I said, if QuidsUp didn't put this video out, if he didn't find it, we still wouldn't know about it. They should be upfront with it. If they're going to have it in there, it should be upfront with it.
It is great to verify that kind of thing, especially from state-sponsored media.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Since it is state-sponsored, I wouldn't use it.
Nope.
No.
That's the third
I'll stick
video.
with I'm happy with my Ubuntu.
That's the third video QuidsUp's done, though, isn't it? Or second? I think it's the third. I'm sure he's done Deepin twice before.
Yeah, and he didn't find anything because
he didn't find anything, no.
Yeah, and I think it's only since 15.5 that they've started this thing, and it makes you wonder: have they started doing it, albeit the wrong way by not asking you? Because Ubuntu now want to allow to be collected, collecting data, but at least they ask you during the installation. You can either opt in or opt out, or you can't opt out, but you can opt in or something or other. But is this the rocky road to ruin? Because now open source software is starting to get on the let's make some money from analytics from the data of our users so we can sell it on to the advertisers.
I would say no. And my reason is because I think we need to give open source a round of applause for being open and somebody actually finding the bull crap, because that's the thing that a lot of people with proprietary software want to say, hey, this software works and it's good. It's like, yeah, but can you dig in there? Do you really know what's in there? Open source stuff, and here we are.
Yeah, this isn't like Windows where you're stuck on Windows. You know it's spying on you, but there's not another Windows to go to. In Linux, we have hundreds of choices. We don't have to use things like Deepin or Rosa or anything.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah. That's very true. It's a good point.
And it's policed by people that know how to get into the code and look at it, because it's spawned out of an IT, realm. That's where this comes from.
But is it maybe fair to say that while we in the Western world have a ton of choice, someone in mainland China might opt for Deepin because that's one of the few Chinese distributions out there?
Yep.
That's valid.
A captive audience almost,
Yeah.
But on the same note, I think it's part of the open sources community's responsibility to let them know of alternatives. Like, was it Ubuntu, Chillin?
Is it Chillin or Kylan?
However, it's chilling.
It depends on who you ask.
Chillin.
Some of those misnomers.
But how easy is it for us to actually let them know about the alternatives when China is a country where things like, you can't even use Google, where you're sort of restricted to Baidu, and they have sort of very strict, they censor so much. Do you know that within the Great Firewall, it's going to be easy for people to find the alternatives and for us to communicate those alternatives to them?
Yeah.
They do. That's why I say it's the responsibility of the distribution maintainers in this case. It would be like, and Ubuntu would be, SUSE, Red Hat, all these other companies have a responsibility on their part to actually do this weird thing that open source is really, 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 really bad at. It's called marketing.
That's a current theme right now.
Yeah, we had a long chat about that yesterday.
EB, are you here? Are you with us, EB? Calling EB.
He's muted.
God. It's not God, EB. He's not up there.
I want to hear your opinion, man.
Sorry, everybody. I keep hearing these voices. I'm
calling EB.
Really?
Just so you know, everybody,
calling EB.
He's been on the
EB.
How are we? Is everything? Have you all migrated over onto Red Star OS yet? Not in any way limited. Top draw.
What do you think of Deepin, dude?
I've been banging on about this for a long while. For me personally, Deepin is far too polished and had far too much money invested in it in such a short space of time to just, there you go, everybody, it's free, enjoy. When you look at all other newish distros, they're a little bit rough around the edges. They've got little problems here, little problems there. This looks like an operating system you go straight out and pay money for. It looks like a commercial operating. It's gorgeous. No two ways about that. But the flip side of the coin is these companies don't invest trillions of yen, if you like, for no reason. They're not doing it because they're just happy people. There's always an undercurrent. And, at the end of the day, I just think everybody says to me, Steve, Windows is now full of keyloggers and spyware, and that's just Microsoft. Isn't it good to get on something free and open source where you're not tracked? And I say, yeah. Then they go and log into Google, they log into YouTube, straight onto Facebook. Well, as you don't forget your computer, your data's gone. Yeah. So the video that I did was really, at the end of the day, we're all here for such a minute amount of time in the scheme of things. you know, in the more things to enjoy in life rather than worrying who's checking what sites I've been on and how they can manipulate that to earn money. Good luck to them. Let them do it. That's all I think.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think there should still be pushback on when these things happen, because otherwise, if you don't have any pushback, they're free to do whatever they like. I mean, they're counting on people to not care. They're counting on people to just, you know, roll over and say, yeah, it's okay. Who cares? I don't really have anything to hide anyway. And that's what they thrive on. So the more people that go into that area, the better off they are. And the less and less that they will have to put up with from people like, say, me, because I'm saying, hey, this shouldn't be.
But how many things in life, Rocco, seriously shouldn't be? You know, I could put some vile, factual statement out there on the internet, and Donald Trump can sit there in the White House with his Atari joystick, no, fire, and all of a sudden I'll get nuked out of nowhere. He has that capability.
Yeah, but it's like this. There's
data.
Well, I mean, it's the same principle as the reason why, you know, I lock my doors to my house. It's not because, you know, a criminal couldn't break into the house. If they want in, they're going to come in anyway. Yep. But I still lock my doors because I don't want to just let them walk in free and easy. And it's the same principle here, where I don't want to just give them over every data piece that I have because, you know, somehow they're going to get it anyway. There has to be some, like I said, there has to be some pushback.
Yeah, no, I get that, Rocco, and that is a really good, solid, fair point. However, in life, there are various commodities, friends, money, etc. Time is the one thing, when you've spent it, you ain't getting back. So how important is it to be reasonable? Like you say, make sure your doors are locked. This is all I'm saying. Once time's gone, it's gone. And time doesn't care what you've got in the diary next week. Time doesn't care how much money you have or haven't got. When it's gone, it's gone. So are you using that time, you know, to its max to enjoy yourself and your life?
I am using it because I'm using it to the max because I'm talking to EB.
You shouldn't have to suffer that, Rocco.
You smooth operator, Rocco.
Being subjugated to
Rocco is silk. Don't worry about it.
You know, if this thing proves to be truly horrible, this whole Deepin thing, it turns out to be something truly horrible, people will just move away from it. That's the thing with open source. It's kind of like back in OpenOffice became LibreOffice, where just everybody left en masse. As soon as you identify a problem, they're going to leave. All the Deepin users are just going to run to Antergos Deepin or some other, you know, Deepin desktop environment distro. They're just
and you know what's really, really funny about that? I really don't think Deepin give a monkeys if they've got 1.4 billion Chinese people that are going to be using it.
Yeah.
So to lose 10,000 European Americans, Germans, Russians, it's a drop in the ocean, unless they want the information about the Western world, and then they'll open up a bit more about it. But this whole security thing is very infectious, and it's very easy to become ultra paranoid and ultra concerned about it, to such an extent that someone who never ever bothered with a VPN is now running one.
Well done.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. There was a minor drop off on speed, but nothing to write home about. And the upload speed, I think I lost about 0.7. So yeah, it's working well at the moment. And after listening to the wonderful Das Geek, I've also put it on my phone as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
There's
about.
Ryan.
Yeah.
That's all your fault.
Crystal, you made it. How awesome. I'm so shocked to see you here. I'm so happy to see you here. It's awesome.
Yeah. Hello. Do we know, has there been enough time since that video was released for Deepin to actually make any sort of public statement and sort of rebuttal?
Yeah, they have. And that's where I got the information. I think it was either their main admin or their CEO wrote a reply to a Reddit script or a Reddit conversation.
Mm.
And he said it's just an analytical company taking information from people who use the software center, and it picks up the browser information, your screen size, and a few other anonymous pieces of information, just like Google Analytics. That's what his response was.
Well, I'm glad it said Google Analytics and not Cambridge Analytics.
It's not even them. It is a Chinese-based analytical company. But what he was saying was it's the same type of thing as.
Did he explain why? Why do they need that data?
No. Does anybody explain why they need it? Other than to help them improve the software center, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was implied more than... Steve, was it you who read it out completely? Oh, no, it was Sudo read it out on his...
Yeah, it was Sudo.
Mm.
I can't find the link again now, though, unfortunately, because I'm not a Reddit aficionado, but it's definitely on a Reddit conversation about Deepin. So.
Yeah, why do they want this information? For the same reason everybody wants this information, to sell you something.
Yeah.
That's all about that.
Absolutely. And let's be honest, how long is it going to be in the real world before Microsoft wholly buys out Canonical? Really? Really?
You really think that's going to happen?
Disappear then?
That was a prediction by a lot of people for a long time. But...
Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've been hearing that for 10 years. It's a bit like the year of the Linux.
That's been going on even longer.
It's a little bit like Vulkan's going to transform Linux gaming, isn't it? Yeah, really?
Yeah. They can buy Canonical, but the source code is still open source. People are just going to fork Ubuntu and keep going.
Yep. Well, that and the fact that you have the Ubuntu Foundation, who, in case Ubuntu went away anyway, Mark Scholler was like, "Here's a bunch of money. Go, keep running it." So, like you said, it'll still keep going.
Oh, the next day they'll fork that thing, and it'll be under a different name probably. But
well, look what happened with Unity. It was vilified until it was going to be dropped, and now everyone's going, "Oh, quick, let's save Unity."
Which redundantly, I'm actually running an 18.
Well, I would just personally like to predict that within 12 months, I think we'll all be sat here on FreeBSD to avoid data collection. I think it's just the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
Never tried it. Never tried BSD.
I don't know. I tried that 8 years ago. Had no software. So who's been hopping apart from the dark one?
Yeah, I hopped again. It's like the 5th week in a row I've hopped.
What did you hop to, man?
I installed Arch.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
what regular Arch?
Yeah, just
how long
Arch? Yeah, just
the
did a
manual way. The manual way, or did you use an installer?
No, I did it in the command line.
The command. Oh well, he's too good for us now, boys. He's part of the Arch elite.
Later.
Derek's actually doing 30-day challenge on what are you using there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to live in the command line. Just use terminal apps for 30 days. Obviously, Zoom is an exception.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Or are you watching us in the terminal, and how does that look?
Yeah, how do we look?
Are you using Links as your browser?
Yeah, I'm using Links.
Gosh, dude. Really?
Them is my text editor.
So I was using that link this week trying to install Gentoo.
Yeah.
And
how'd that go for you, Ryan?
Good luck, DistroTube. I'll watch you and I'll enjoy your suffering through your channel, and no interest in continuing down that path. I mean, Crystal, I think you ran Gentoo. It just, to me, I think the part of the problem was I was trying to do it in a virtual box, and I read a lot of forums where they're like, you're just going to run into a lot more issues there. I don't know if that's true or not, but it made me feel better. And anyways, it was just constant, commands not working, and they're like, oh, just put this in here and things will work, and it doesn't. So yeah, I won't be doing
that. Theron uploaded a link. Sorry, who was that? Sorry.
Go ahead, Colin.
Go. Theron uploaded a link, I think, on EB's Discord. I think it was about some guy who sent himself nutty installing Gentoo, and he's in hospital. I don't know if it's a true story. It looked like a legitimate story.
The name of the website was Satirical Meanderings.
Oh, there you go.
A story. Somebody wrote a story.
When you do these like installs, you realize how much stuff is involved in making a Linux distro. Like I'm 4 or 5 days in on Arch now, and I just realized today I didn't install an image viewer. I don't have any kind of PDF viewer. You have to install every single package on your system with one of these installs.
Can I just say, if you want a nice, easy Gentoo experience, dead simple, install Calculate.
Yeah, I was on it 2 weeks ago.
Fabulous distro. The minute it loads up, it looks like something from 5 years ago, but everything just works. And if you want a really smooth experience with it, where you don't have to use Emerge and go into the terminal, just install Porthole to install your packages, and you're away.
See, that's why I love EB. It's the cheating way to get Gentoo, and then I can tell everybody, yeah, I run Gentoo. Of course I've done that. EB just hooked me up, man.
Right, it's the way, man. We're all like water. I mean, why do you want to walk 500 miles when you can fly?
I love it, man. I love it.
Well, those kinds of installs make you appreciate Ubuntu more.
The only problem I've got with Gentoo now is 10 years ago, yes, it made your computer faster, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Wait, what did it, or did it just seem fast because you'd spent so long compiling it?
Because you couldn't get anything running on it. I love
it. We've still got a couple of guys who use it on all the channels we chat on, and they swear blind that stuff starts up faster. So great, Google starts up 0.5 milliseconds faster than it does on Ubuntu. Can your eye see that? I don't think that edge is there anymore. Steve's right. Calculate's a great distribution. But the minute you want to do something else, you've then got to spend half an hour working out why didn't the emerge install work? What dependencies am I missing? And then there's some whole other thing that I ran it for a week and it worked well enough and it seemed pretty stable. But then I think I wanted to install GUVC View just to check out the webcam before I went on Zoom. I was back on Peppermint about 5 minutes later. That's ridiculous. You just can't do it. It's too complicated. The instructions are in Geek. They're not in English.
A lot of this stuff is more like people, want to do it because you do, like Derek said, you do learn things along the way. Even when I was doing the failing at Gentoo, I was learning different elements of formatting the drives and, without any of the GUIs and stuff. And obviously browsing through links. But at the end of the day, most of the people are just copying and pasting code. You just go to these sites, they have instructions, you follow it, you copy and paste it. You're hoping to learn something along the way. And that's really the only advantage you're getting out of these is as you're copying and pasting, if you're reading what you're doing, you're learning something. Otherwise, like EB said, just go install the distro and move on with your life. Because I don't know anybody, including Jonas, who, they install Gentoo, they run it, and then they quickly go to something else,
right?
So that they can move on with
it. It doesn't stay running for too long. Is the impression that I get?
Yeah. No, but I think everybody completely misses the point of this. It doesn't matter whether it's Debian, Arch, Slack, Gentoo. The whole point of building your own system from the ground up is you get a super slim, perfectly tailored operating system, A, to your hardware, and B, to your needs. That's the whole. Now, if you want to invest 3 weeks in doing that just to get it up and then black screen it, fill your boots.
Yeah. Is that a take on fill your brains?
That's it.
But that's Steve, you're banking on not forgetting anything either. You go through all that work and then you realize you forgot something.
And then you have yourself for support.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you don't spend hours or even days installing something and then distro hop right after it either. You don't put it all. You're gonna stay on it for a few months at least.
Yeah. I mean, so Crystal, how long did you run it for back in the day?
Oh gosh, quite a few years. I was a Gentoo user for probably 5 years. But I was quite an obscure one. So it was in the days before children. I still had time in those days, and my hobbies basically included buying old Sunblades and Spark stations and installing Gentoo on those, and porting Gentoo to MIPS. And Yeah, everything in my house would run Gentoo, and if I found any weird, strange old hardware, then I'd happily spend weeks and weeks getting Gentoo running on that too, for absolutely zero reason other than the fact that I enjoyed it when it did work.
Did you ever mess with the PlayStations?
I did, yes, and quite a few of my sort of fellow, so I was a Gentoo developer a long time ago in a distant past. So yeah, quite a few of my fellow devs in those days were enjoying that. So when we went to events like Scale and FOSDEM in those days, there would be a couple of the boys who would bring along their PlayStations running Gentoo.
That's always
now
cool.
The question is, and what do you use today?
Debian.
Aha.
It makes sense.
It does, because it works.
Yeah, if you like stable, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Well, going back to Zeb's point, there can't be the same advantage today as there was years ago with the hardware changes. So what is the point of running Gentoo now?
I've argued this for years. You see this, especially on the Arch forums, how these Arch installs after you're done, they're so much faster than Ubuntu or Fedora. And it's like this on other distro their forums. People swear that their distro is the fastest. And I have installed hundreds of different distros on physical hardware, VMs over the years. I have never sat down in front of one and go, wow, this is so much faster than the last one I've run. They're all the same. They're all exactly the same.
Let's be honest, you don't have to invest 3.5 months building a Gentoo system from the ground up to wreck it. So I had my Calculate Linux on, I had it all customized, themed, I had all my software. I thought, fantastic. There was just one piece of software I was missing. Somebody said to me, yeah, Steve, you need overlay for that, buddy. Yeah, no worries. Looks into overlays, great. And I'm just at that point where I'm about to press the enter key and all the red lights are flashing. Everybody's going, don't do it. Oh, it's okay, I'll do it. Look, bang, what did I get? Reboot the computer, kernel panic, black blank. So you don't have to build your own to wreck a perfectly good distro. I'm capable.
I am in the same shoes there, EB. I can wreck a distro with no problem.
And normally when you get that kernel panic, you're reinstalling right away, but you spent 3 weeks installing Gentoo. So now you got to see if you can figure out the problem because you can't go through that install process again.
You're going to spend another 3 weeks trying to figure out the problem.
I was going to say that's when you go disk, but then you got to think, oh, what theme did he use? Now, where's that wallpaper for me? Why? Really?
If we were smart, we would write a script to pull all that in.
Oh, Das Geek's done that.
Yeah, well, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching the Gentoo script.
Scripted Gentoo install.
You're all on your own for that.
I was throwing it out there.
Probably is smart enough to, but that's up to her. She wants to touch that.
I really dig Das Geek's install script for applications. That's fun.
I lobbed it out there for him, but he didn't hit it out of the park there. I was waiting.
We needed the link.
I get embarrassed by it because I don't think I'm done anything that great. I just put it together and stole a bunch of other people's code, but I love that you guys like it. And
you made it.
Is it in the AUR?
You wrote it in English.
It's on GitHub.
You can understand what it does.
But we did the latest edition we did was with Scrapjaw's audio. So those we talked last week about moving to Jack on Biddle and everybody talking about audio issues. So I finally got the script. I was going to make Rocco be the guinea pig, and I'm so glad he didn't bite because it was broken initially.
Yeah.
Now I've tested it on 3 computers, and it works really well for the audio script portion. So if you want to move to Jack, you got to be committed. Watch Scrap's video first because he teaches you all the configuration stuff. But this will do all the work behind the scenes to set up Jack.
Nice.
False out of there.
Yes.
You know, my Arch Linux install was a piece of cake compared to trying to get Jack up and running.
You didn't talk to me.
I played around with it for a little bit on Ubuntu before I wiped Ubuntu off my machine, but man, that was a nightmare.
A lot of times it's dependent on the hardware.
Yeah.
Like internal integrated hardware, best to leave Pulse to that. And then if you have an audio interface, use Jack. That's how it,
I probably needed a better sound card.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only way I could get Ubuntu proper to stop switching the audio outputs on me was to actually install the Pulse Audio Mixer and shut off all of the outputs other than... And it still doesn't shut them all. It still doesn't disable them. It'll see it, but it won't actually switch now.
Yeah,
where
that's what I do.
anytime I was in suspend, or I could just be sitting here, we could be recording this, and my audio would switch the default to something else. It was so weird. But
on Ubuntu?
On Ubuntu, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And this is, this is 1804 beta, but still. It was happening on 1710. So
yeah, when I tried installing the KX Studio stuff on 1710, I had a lot of problems with Pulse Audio. It's like it wanted to do what it wanted to do, and there was no option. Every time I tried to kill it, just to get it out of my way and let Jack do a thing, and then Pulse come up, it would hang, hard hang. Like I thought the system was frozen, and then eventually it would break loose, and there it was. Really? Never seen that before.
Yeah.
Well, I muted the mic in here just to keep it off when I'm not using it. And that's why when I dropped in, they unmuted Zoom. But then I went up there to check, and it automatically switches it on. So it does. I still find that it does some switching on its own in here from time to time too, and different things.
We will drop it down. Looks like.
Well, that's one of the issues with 1804, but hopefully they fix it soon.
I haven't played with it yet.
Too.
I mean, the tutorial that Das and I did is on Kubuntu 1804, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he recorded all the interface stuff, and then we did voiceover on it, and it worked out fine on him. So.
Yep. And I did the script on a couple laptops and other things to make sure it works. So even though I don't have fancy audio equipment on the laptops, it was still able to grab the core laptop as the source and move it all over to Jack. So it seems to be working really well.
Cool.
So Wicked Ender over on Twitch, Rocco, says that they work in education, need to be able to have fully configured systems that 16-year-olds won't break. Otherwise, the teachers will start handing out Chromebooks.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Endless OS.
Yeah. This is Linux, man. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yep.
If you want secure systems like that, because 16-year-olds are smart. When I was in my when I was in 8th grade, in our sci-tech class, there wasn't HTML or anything like that. It was kind of like half shop and half radio, and there was tape decks and things. And I was the only one that knew HTML, and that was my project for the year. I knew how to do stuff, and some of the other kids did too. But we broke things, and we enjoyed it.
I hate to tell you what they had for computers when I was in school. It was a data processing machine. You had a card this big. The machine took up half the room, and it's when on the computer that was the size of a full house.
Well, could you Bitcoin mine with it? That's the question.
No.
Probably not.
You might have been able to burst coin mine. I think that's the one that uses data storage.
Oh, there you go. See,
maybe.
But just the sound of them printing out those cards, it was like somebody scratching on a chalkboard. It's like, holy God.
The telegraph.
Yeah.
All good stuff.
Right.
Someone was also
Teletype.
asking in the chat, is elementary beta out?
Yeah, that was Heather.
It is not, I don't think.
So that's just Chicken having access via the other route that he's talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I have not seen any news saying that the beta is out and not on their Patreon page or anything. So.
And you've been looking, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, yeah, because that's the
it wasn't going to
distro.
be out for
That's the distro I'll be
a couple
on.
of months after
Exactly.
1804 comes out.
Yeah, but they'll still bring out the beta because I mean the betas have been out for about
Right.
2 months now, so people are playing with them in the background. They just won't be issuing their own version of it until a couple of months after, I guess.
Yeah, according to the Patreon page, no, the last post that they had is on their notebook taking thing. So I don't see them having a beta out as far as I know.
I have to say, I'm very, very personally very excited at the launch of 1804 for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, Peppermint OS 9. Reason number 2, Linux Lite 4.
I was about to say that.
Wait to get, and I can just imagine both dev teams saying, "There you go, our ISO is available. Go get it, download it, and then look at it. Oh, God, EB's downloading it, really.
Hey, Zeb, is it Peppermint Respin or Remix this time?
It's straight Peppermint 9. And then give it a year later, and we might have a respin. Or if there's another meltdown, we might have a respin 2.
You get elementary on your machine, Rocco. You're going to try to put i3 on.
I would be running elementary right now if I didn't need some things that weren't in 1604. So hopefully when Juno comes out, even if it's the beta, I might even switch to it.
But are you going to try i3 over it just to see if it even works?
Dude, that's Ryan's bag there, not mine.
Yeah, well, since someone brought it up, Derek, you want to talk about your little rap song and your little lyrics?
That was so awesome.
You want to talk about that here?
If you haven't gone over to DistroTube's channel,
you should,
and you should check out his rap video on Linux.
Yeah,
he likes to throw.
One of the lyrics had something to do with i3 is for amateurs, and Das Geek finally figured out I was referring to him. I put that line in just for him.
That was real cute.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Derek, can we have that replace the free software song?
Talking of cute, Colin and I have been playing with Ubuntu Next.
Yeah, what do you
it
think?
It works for me. Colin can't get internet access.
No, I put it up on Telegram this morning, and Simon actually responded. He said it's not the first time he's heard of that. The internet connects on the live disk, but nothing connects to the internet. No apps connect to it, and I know it does the same thing because I've got it installed on the laptop here, but the internet does not work. So it connects, but nothing connects to the internet.
So it's your fault he's not here. He's fixing it.
Oh, maybe because I've tried it on.
He said you weren't the only person with that problem either.
That's right. Yeah. So he said he was going to
look into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I have to.
I think it's a Debian fault.
Yeah. I have to. I have to agree with EB though, who did a review of Ubuntu Next about 3 months ago. It might be fantastic, and Qt might be the way to go, but it looks awful.
It does.
It really. You open up your browser window, excuse me, and everything's working perfectly well. And then you've got these like Windows 98 type scroll bars on the right hand side, and it's just awful looking. And some of the default themes, I must have opened up Variety 15 times because I couldn't see the icon on the taskbar because it was all blacked out. And I'm thinking, this isn't working.
Ryan, do you believe all these people talking about pixels and themes? And
I know. I wonder where they got it from, Rocco.
It's that VPN thing. It's patching. It's all Rocco's fault. We're blaming. Yeah, we're all becoming shallow people.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're all shallow.
Did he just call you shallow?
Yeah,
we never noticed these things before until Rocco brought these things up. We were living our lives quite comfortably, thanks, Rocco.
But now you can't unsee it. You just can't unsee it.
That is the problem. Once Rocco opens your eyes to this, it ruins you. You're like, I'm sitting here staring at pixels all of a sudden, like, get out of my head, Rocco.
I was going to say, but Ryan, that's why you run i3, so you don't have to worry about the icons and all that stuff.
True. No imperfections there.
Yeah. Zeb makes a point about LXDE and LXQT. LXDE not only looks better, but it's stable. You know,
it's a lot more mature.
Very much beta. So,
well, Colin, I won't get too excited waiting for him to fix the Ubuntu network issue yet, because he's probably still working on the Pulse Audio issue that we.
Colin, was that issue on Wi-Fi or was it wired connection?
No, that's Wi-Fi.
Did you test it on live?
Ryan, weren't you having the same issue in something where it would work on the live disk but not in the install?
I had that with.
Sound familiar? Yeah, I don't think
I've had that, but not on every computer. I only had that on one with 1804 Ubuntu Mate.
I thought you said you had that problem in MX or something. Was it MX?
It might be NEX or NTX.
Yeah,
I mean, I had a problem with an NVMe on MX. That's the only issue I've really had with it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But once I installed the Wi-Fi driver, I didn't have that problem. After I got it running,
because I know sometimes the live distros or live environments usually will load up stuff that's not actually installed with the actual OS.
Yeah,
No, I've tried it after install as well. It doesn't work after install either, because I've got it installed now, and I've tried it on 2 different laptops, same result. So
yeah, because I only had that on one, on an older one.
So, by the way, Ryan, my MX did install on my NVMe, so I didn't get an error like you got.
Oh, great. So it's just me. Thanks for the backup.
It's just you, Ryan.
Motherboard update.
You could have at least just lied to me, please.
I'll do that next time, Ryan.
Thanks.
I'm learning every day.
No, you won't, Colin. Don't lie.
Well, that's a good question, Ryan. Is your NVMe plugged directly into your motherboard, or is it through PCI?
It is. It's direct into the motherboard.
Are your guys?
A firmware?
Yeah, mine is. Straight into the motherboard.
Well, see, it works with every other distro. So, but I haven't tried the latest MX. I haven't tried it probably a month, so maybe I'll give it a go again. But I don't have any issues in Manjaro, Arch, or Kubuntu, or Ubuntu's, or all the other ones that I've tried lately. But it just seems to be MX installer that messed with my NVMe specifically.
But don't you find that with distros in general? You hear everybody say, "Oh, this is a really good distro," and you go to put it on your hardware, and it goes, not having
that's
that.
Right.
There's always
everybody
one.
talks about Red Core as being fantastic, and on a live USB, it works great. In a VM, it's great. As soon as I try and install it on the hardware and reboot, there's some gobbledygook that Serge expects me to remember and mention because the Gentoo guys on the live stream. Tell him the problem you had, Zeb. I don't know. It was 450 pages of trash that ran past my screen. And then, there you go. Have a little blinking cursor. But then that's Linux all around. It just so hardware dependent.
It is, yeah, absolutely. Ryan, what make is your hard drive? What make is your hard drive, Ryan? Do you know? The NVMe?
Okie Kokie 2000.
Okay, so first distro tube and his little rap. Now you're Okey Pokey NVMe drive. I see where this is going, guys. It's a Plexter, which is practically an Okie Dokie 256 MPA.
Mine's a Samsung Evo.
Gotcha.
And mine's an older Samsung, one of the first ones that came out because my computer's about 2 years old now. So,
yeah, I got mine are Samsung as well.
Oh.
But I didn't try running MX though on them. I installed MX on a regular SSD on a different drive.
Yeah. I'll just give it a go a little bit later. Maybe on the next release MX, maybe it'll work. Maybe I'll get lucky.
I was gonna say, Zeb, I'm blaming you for all my distro hopping today. By the way,
what do you hop to, Matt?
Lenovo Yoga right now is Sparky Linux. Sparky Linux on my Lenovo Yoga right now.
Are you kidding?
I thought you didn't like that.
Generically, I don't because I couldn't get the trackpad to work on half the distros I tried. That whole blacklisting of the touchpad, but the touchscreen works. That makes sense.
Right?
No, I thought you didn't like Sparky Linux.
Oh, Sparky.
I did. Generically, yes and no. I'm not usually a straight Debian fan, but I got it installed. And Zeb, the combination of desktop environments I'm running.
Yeah, it's got the Manokwari desktop. That's why he's running it.
Well, it's got
Trinity.
But I'm also running
Trinity.
So I'm running about the most weird combination of stuff you can run.
That doesn't shock me, Matt, for some reason. I don't know why.
If you wanted Debian and Trinity, why not Q4OS?
Actually, it was mostly just because it was kind of there more than I was like, oh, Trinity's on here. Install it. Not because I any other reason. But I've also been testing Ubuntu Unity 1804 spin, which has been interesting.
Cool.
Really?
I was going to try that. I forgot about that.
And who's behind that?
I honestly, it's a community spin right now. I found the ISO's a little old. It's like a month old, I think. But so far, it's been working really good, surprisingly.
Is that the nightly build, Matt? Is that the
No,
nightly build? Is it?
It's not the ISO is static, but you can still update to all the latest stuff.
Right.
But Unity actually works really well on 1804. Not gonna lie, for what they've done for work.
Yeah, I miss Unity. If I was going to leave Xmonad, I'd go back to Unity.
I think
give a quick shout out to the MX team, not for MX Linux, but for Antics Linux.
Yes.
I know people have mixed experiences with it. That's fine.
Nobody wants
But they've actually got a bit of a mini revival going on. Last week, I'd kind of migrated over to i3, not because of the 32 terminal windows on a single screen facility, but because I loved the workflow thesis of it. And actually, Dolphin pointed out to me, just randomly in the chat, actually, Steve, if you go to Antics and go to Fluxbox, you can do all that out of the box. And I was like, wow, yeah, of course you can. You know, I think we all forget things like Joe's Window Manager, Fluxbox, ISWM, all these DEs from, you know, way back when dinosaurs. But actually, they're bristling with really cool features out of the box. So I just wanted to say...
I used to run Fluxbox for years. It was probably one of my absolute favorite desktop environments.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just think there's a little mini revival going. It's almost like retro gaming. Do you know what I mean? But if you actually try some of these DDEs out, it's absolutely chock full of cool features right out of the box. Just wanted to give a shout out to the MX team for doing that with Antics.
Well, Dolphin's usually in the chat, but he's nowhere to be found tonight, I don't think. I haven't seen him.
I think he's still recovering from being on the stream last week.
Yeah, because didn't he say last time I gave him an issue, I had 3 weeks of work? So he may be in his week 2 of fixing my issue. My hokey pokey NVMe.
So that makes 2 developers that you run off the stream.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm trying to get
I'm making sure we get a better product at the end. Anybody else who runs a hokey pokey NVMe will be all
Maybe
set.
you should send an invite out to the Deepin guy and you can have a chat with him.
Yeah, right?
We might need a translator for that one.
Yeah.
All right, so we got, what, less than 2 weeks for the 1804 to drop. So has everybody tried all of the above? Or, I mean, like XFCE, how many people have tried the XFCE version of 1804?
I've tried Voyager 1804 beta, which is basically XFCE, and then the guy applies his own little tips and tricks to it. And it's like I think 1804 is going to be an awesome distro like 1404 was. Anything based off of 1404 was great. And I think 1804 is going to be exactly the same because they all just work.
Yeah, I've done GNOME, Mate, and Kubuntu, and all of them were great, but Mate and Kubuntu especially just blew me away. Kubuntu, because all of the issues that I was frustrated with, you know, KDE implementations, whether it's Neon or other stuff, Kubuntu has gone in and fixed, and it is solid. I love every second of Kubuntu right now.
And all the ones that DOS hasn't tried, I've tried. I did Ubuntu on my main machine. I did Budgie. I also looked at the mainline Ubuntu, the GNOME edition.
Any major issues?
No, I concur, but I would say that Kubuntu is the jewel in the crown, for one, and actually, Lubuntu is the pig in the poke. How strange is that?
Pig in the...
Because you was always a
Michael,
big
isn't it?
fan.
Michael's been giving him the feedback, hasn't he? Or the help.
Yeah.
Where is Michael tonight? He wasn't here last week either.
I don't know. Nobody's been trashing KDE. He doesn't have a
in
reason
his
to show up.
telegram, he said he had some family issues he had to take care of. That's why he couldn't do his live stream today. So I'm sure that's kind of extended over.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But no, I think finding the story with Kubuntu, because for a long time it was not good. I'll be blunt. It was always like the afterthought project almost for anybody who contributed to Ubuntu, and it's really nice to see that it's finally getting like a lot of good positive stuff for it, from user experience to press, everything.
And I'll be honest, I didn't check Xubuntu or Ubuntu Mate out at all because they always work.
Well, those are the two that I use Ubuntu Mate normally anyway. And then I tried Xubuntu on an old MacBook Pro that I have. And I liked it, but there were a couple little weird things that just kind of irked me about it that made me feel like it was a little bit, it was like some of the things like the network monitor and stuff. It was these kind of tacky looking little graphy things up on the panel when I put them on there. So I ended up wiping it off after about 2 weeks and put Ubuntu Mate back on the poor old MacBook. But I normally like Mate, so.
Rocco, you're going to be shocked by this news because we talked about this before. I forgot all about this, but I submitted a ticket to Kubuntu about network discovery, and they responded within 24 hours, and they followed up with me 3 times.
Really?
I have never had anybody, and all the tickets I've submitted, actually ever do anything but laugh at my tickets. But they went. I mean, I got to give mad shout out to the Kubuntu team because I've never had so much follow up and interest in making sure the issue was resolved. That was pretty awesome.
It's amazing how so much awesome work can be destroyed in a second without no thought. I know this is a family show, so I'll be very, very careful here. Can you imagine the next advert for Ubuntu and all the flavors? Hey, Windows users, come and ride the Bionic Beaver today. Really?
It does make me wonder where they get these names from. I mean, Bionic Beaver.
That bothered me. It just sounded
it's
silly.
just wrong on so many levels.
It makes you wonder if, much like Disney putting little subtle things into their movies for the kids that shouldn't be there, if this isn't done on purpose for that reason too.
I know, it just doesn't
come out of it.
It is wrong.
I mean, come on, it's 2018 and they're calling something Bionic Beaver. Really? Can we not get better than that?
Yeah, names aren't getting any better, are they?
I was going to say, I think after the first 26 canonical ran out of ideas.
They ran out of ideas.
But I do enjoy the fact that there has been at least like the release number cadence that a long time ago we didn't have. Like, so you get the month and the year essentially for the distro version now, whereas before you were like Red Hat 6. Okay, when did this come out? Like.
I'll tell you what can drive you nuts. I've got multiple. I've got 8 distros on this laptop, and I've got about 4 Ubuntu ones, and they're all called Bionic Beaver, Bionic Beaver, Bionic Beaver.
Yeah.
Development branch. So you've got to know. I've got a little list there of where each one's installed on which device, which partition, because you've got to know which partition it is. Otherwise, you don't know which one.
Just go in with Grub Customizer and rename them.
I could, but you know that thing that Michael often talks about?
You mean effort?
But it is annoying that they name all their ISOs Bionic Beaver. They don't give a desktop. They don't give a date.
No, Well, I have to put them, when I'm downloading the ISOs, I always download them to the folder that I make with the Ubuntu name.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So, Rocco, are you going to try Kubuntu out? Have I convinced you yet?
I don't know, dude. I mean, you keep talking about. I mean, I love KDE, so I don't know.
Rob's gone to KDE Neon. Did you see his video? He's gone to KDE Neon.
He's a big KDE fan as well. So
yeah, I don't know what he was running before. It was Plasma, but he's now gone to Neon.
I haven't seen his latest video.
But the fact that it had text fragmentation and artifacting every single time, all the time on an NVIDIA 1080 was just unacceptable. And Kubuntu is the only distro with KDE I know of that doesn't have that issue. Manjaro KDE has it. KDE Neon has it. This one does not. And I know, Rocco, you had the same issue with all that stuff. So whatever Kubuntu's done in 18.04, they've actually resolved it, which is brilliant.
Well, I think that's also, they've resolved some of the things that would shy people away from Kubuntu before. And that's, along with the minimal installation, you don't have to install everything that would normally come with it. And the crashing in Kubuntu in the KDE system settings and a lot of different items of KDE would crash in Kubuntu before. And, you know, with them having the advantage of the 512 as the LTS, I think it's like a perfect timing for them.
Yep.
They're making changes to their distro. They're on 512 LTS, and I just think
this
it's
just shows you how people can do a turnaround, though, because frankly, and I'm not, you know, we have podcasts and everything else, but I'm not super close to the ground. But nobody mentioned Kubuntu, like, let's jump to Kubuntu, like, ever in the last 2 years. And
there were many reasons not to.
And lately, it's been every single week you hear about people jumping to it and absolutely loving it. And it just shows you when they get the right people together, focused on the right areas, what a difference that can make, and how welcoming back the Linux community is to them. Hopefully.
Yeah, years ago, if you wanted to run KDE on a distro, it seemed like OpenSUSE was the one everybody went to, and this was 5-10 years back.
But they had a rock solid KDE version though at that time.
Nowadays, everybody's on Neon. You know, that's the KDE distro that does it right. It seems, I guess.
Well, I don't know. KDE and Neon, the draw to that is it's such a minimal install, and you basically, it's almost like doing an Arch install on Debian, because it's like there's nothing there. You build it from the ground up. Unfortunately, along with that, you get the rolling release of the KDE environment, and that itself can cause problems by getting the updates, and things may not always be ready. So I don't know if KDE Neon does it all right. I think it was the only one. There really isn't a KDE Ubuntu version that you could put up on a pedestal and say this is the one, because Kubuntu before wasn't the one. There were issues with it. So KDE Neon almost became the default one that you put up there because it was the only other one. So.
And there's stability with the bleeding edge stuff, which is fine and great. But if you're running as a main machine, I think at one point in KDE Neon, because I loved it initially, it just stopped running, right? Just reboot one day and it won't go in. By the way, if anyone's interested, private internet access GUI works fantastically in Kubuntu 18.04. I just tested it. I only had the network manager version running before, but now I just tried the GUI. It came right up.
Yeah, and the script runs perfectly on Manjaro KDE, which is what I'm running at the moment.
Nice.
Huh, it runs perfect on Ubuntu proper too.
There you go.
It's almost like it's the same install of Neon. So, and I've gone through all of the quirks and things of stuff that have happened with it in the last year, and came out on the other side fine.
Yeah, but the problem, I think.
Sorry, come on, Rocco.
I'm just going to say the only problem with that, Scrap, is you're willing to take the time to work through the bugs and the fixes with that. Some people are not, and I think
I really didn't have many. The only real big bug that I had wasn't even a KDE. Well, there was one KDE issue, Neon issue, and there was a dependency where if you went into any of your settings, there was a thing they updated to, and they didn't check a dependency, and they had an issue with pushing that forward. And then for a while, you just couldn't find any settings. Everything else worked, all of your apps and everything, but then all your settings just disappeared for about a week or two. It was weird. And it came right back. But yeah, most of my issues are from playing with software and putting it in, pulling it out, and the things and the stuff, and then it breaks and I have to go in and fix it. So
he blames it on himself, Rocco, unlike us, where we probably screw it up, but we blame it on the distro.
I don't screw nothing up. It screws up on me, dude. I don't do nothing to it, and it just breaks on me.
Oh, really, Rocco? So,
Matt, okay, that's enough, Matt. All right.
About that time you tried to put Lightworks on Solus.
Oh, didn't that work out so well?
No, actually it didn't work out too well for me, but hey, I mean,
live and learn.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about learning, but live.
Hey, you can't fault you for trying. Come on.
Was that the nearly New Year's resolution?
I think that was on the New Year's resolution, Zeb, that lasted like, I don't know,
12 hours?
24 hours.
Yeah,
Wait, didn't you
We gave you a reset.
I didn't even make it to the New Year.
Yeah, but I gave you a reset. I said you could just call it a reset.
Yeah, you're the one that gave me the excuse of the out.
Linux should hurt a little bit, though. I mean, every now and then you need to experiment. If you break something, that's fine.
I like it when it doesn't break.
Tagline, Linux should hurt a little bit.
I think it's Linux's fault, though, really. I do. I think it's Linux's fault because they have made it so easy nowadays to install a distro that if you mess it up, you could just install another one. So I'm going to blame my distro hopping ways on
Part of
Linux
freedom
itself.
is the freedom to break stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
With that, you don't really think like, oh, I've got to sit here and fix this. You're like, all right, what can I jump to next? You finally broke on me. Who's next?
I try not to do that on the main machine, you know, because of the podcast and everything, because I really don't like having to redo everything to get everything working for the podcast. But on like the other drives, yeah, it's exactly what I'm talking about.
Do you run multiple hard drives and just dual boot all of your, or multi-boot the Linux distros?
Yeah, I got two NVMEs. One is the Windows, one is the main Ubuntu, and then I got 4 SSDs in here and a spinning drive. So they're all the other ones are either data drives or test drives.
That's a big tower.
It's a big tower, yeah.
Full-size tower.
I do love that comment. Linux should hurt a little bit, really.
I know, you need to put that on a shirt.
I was watching Does Google's video, right? This is what pain is, and it made me genuinely weep. So the guy, right, gets a System 76 laptop, and I'm sitting there drawing. Out of his pocket, he pulls a $2.99 Walmart toolkit. And he's going at that system. And picks the plastic and I'm drilling here. And I genuinely sat here, tears, and the poor laptop. Oh, Dad's just butchered.
But it's upgraded, isn't it?
Where are you going?
It needed some upgrades.
That was a brilliant rendition of that video, and you're right. I've worked on these things so many times throughout my life because we owned a small computer shop in my family growing up, and I worked there as a kid. So I was repairing and building computers all the time. So to me, I have to really slow down to do videos because it's all like since I'm a kid, I've been taking these things apart. So we took it apart. We fixed the issues with it not charging because I got it to get it cheap, got it used. And then we put some new hard drive in it, and I think that's it. And got it back up and running, and it works beautifully. My main machine.
Great video, Daz. Loved it to bits. I just think you should have renamed it System 76 Gets Botox.
Love it.
I was going to say, Ryan, how is the battery life on that now that the actual battery's been replaced and stuff?
It's beautiful, man. It's it gets. I mean, it's your typical. It's not like
I'm not expecting
like a Chromebook. Okay, you're not going to get 12 hours out of it, but you're getting about 4 to 6 depending on what you're doing. If you're doing programming, you'll get 6. If you're watching a lot of video and stuff, you get 4.5, 5 hours, something like that.
Oh, nice.
It improves probably if you run i3.
Yeah, I bet it would actually tremendously if you didn't have all that type of weight on it for sure. Right now, it's got Kubuntu on it. I played with Pop! OS on it because it just felt right when I first got it to put Pop! OS on it. But I wanted the Kubuntu's just got me drawn right now.
Nice,
very nice.
Yeah.
Well,
so what else is going on?
Rocco, I put I'm running Ubuntu proper 18.04 beta 2 right now. Mm. So what I've done is I've made it look like Zorin. So there's a menu called GNOME menu.
Yeah.
In the extensions, and that's quite a good little menu, that one. So I was out to. I like the way Zorin do their desktop, but I just don't like their theming. Just doesn't suit my style, to be honest. So I just thought I'll try and make Ubuntu look like Zorin does, and I've pretty much achieved that. I'm pretty happy with it, actually, I must say.
Dash to panel?
Dash to panel, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, dash to panels You can't put dash to panel on the left or right. You only top and bottom. Dash to dock you can, but dash to panel just integrates everything really nicely, I must say. Yeah, it's good.
Awesome.
Rocco, you're still running GNOME, right?
Yeah. Well, Ubuntu, yeah.
Are you liking it?
I love it, dude. I love GNOME. I'm
like better than anything else right now you've played with?
I love KDE and I love GNOME, and they're always neck and neck.
Yeah.
Which one's better, depending
So I'm really twisting your arm here.
Their release cycle. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, dude.
But you're going to elementary for sure. So that's kind of, you're holding that jump.
I'm telling you, as soon as Juno comes out, I'm going to be on it.
See,
I don't know how long.
There, he talked up some elementary for a while. I even wanted to jump after watching EB talk about it.
That might be another 24-hour flu load. Don't bang
yes,
on
but I'm telling you, I installed elementary on another drive and I ran it for a couple days, and would still be running it right now if I didn't need certain things that were too hard to get through 1604 or can't get through 1604. So, yeah, that's one of them. So as soon as it's on 1804, man, I'm on it.
Nice.
Because EB has shown that you can customize it.
Yeah.
Is there a chance of moving the panel to the bottom in elementary? If not, then probably not for me, I would say.
No.
Can you move the panel? You can't, can you?
You can't do anything in elementary.
Yeah. Are they still doing a global menu in elementary? I think that would be a problem if they moved it to the bottom.
No, Colin, you can move the panel to the bottom quite easily, but just before you move it, them big red flashing lights come on your screen. Don't do it. Don't
do it.
Hit the black screen.
Stop giving me incentives to do it.
No, you're not going to do this again.
So if it's the big red flashing thing, you press the big red flashing button, right? Because that's always good result.
No, it's called the any key.
The any key.
You can't find it. So I got something in the mail today. That it's I don't know if you can see that.
A sticker
without the glare. Yeah, and then I got the Big Daddy Linux Live sticker that
nice.
We're gonna ship over to Das Geek, and then we got that.
Nice.
Very cool.
And that one as well.
And tell them why we're shipping it to Das Geek.
We're shipping it to Das Geek because Das Geek is going to Southeast Linux Fest.
Can you guys show up there so I don't look like an idiot in the corner handing out stickers and have some friends or something?
And he's gonna like paste these to the back of people as he walks by.
I think you one.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice. Wow. Isn't that brilliant? You just kind of went with it and like, oh, you give me a sticker, I'm gonna put it on here.
Yeah.
Hey Ryan, make sure when you go to Self
Linux Fest with that toolkit from Walmart. Just a thought.
I was gonna say, Ryan, when you
that was a $6 kit, EB.
I was gonna say, there you go, Ryan. When you go to Self, make sure you slap a bunch of stickers on the back of Noah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Noah definitely. I'm excited because we at least know him a little bit enough that I could have a conversation. But I figured if we don't get all the stickers handed out, I'm just going to go through a parking lot and start putting them on people's cars.
There you go.
And I was asking him if he was going to like actually apply them or just put them in the under the windshield.
Oh no, I'm applying them. Yeah. You will have my sticker on your car.
So we're going to be handing those out there, and I think that's going to be awesome. And if anybody wants one, just let me know, and I will send one out.
KC in chat said the Biddle stickers increase battery life. We should spread that rumor so everyone sticks it on the laptop.
Hey, if that's the case, Crystal's laptop will never turn off.
Yeah. She'll never run out.
Never run out. How many years worth of stickers is that?
Oh gosh, this is not that long, so I actually tend to. This is not super long.
Wow. So you don't even have room for a Biddle sticker, or
I don't. Well, I'll find room. I do have a few that sort of
need to be stuck over.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I love about that? If you see her laptop laying in a Starbucks and nobody was around, you still wouldn't touch it because all of the Hackfest and DEF CON stickers on it. You're like, yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone. I'll go steal the MacBook in the corner.
I've got a 4-year-old daughter, and I didn't realize this before I just looked at it, but she has evidently added a tiny little cat sticker to the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
It's complete without a little cat.
Yeah.
Well, I got the perfect place for it. When you open your screen, put it right in the middle of it.
Right over the trackpad.
Yeah.
That'd work.
Yep.
Who needs it?
Precisely.
And I'd put it on one of my machines. I've got some in the closet that aren't running. I'd stick one on.
Thanks. Thanks, Derek.
So you wouldn't have them anywhere on your show. You would just have them stuck in the corner off camera. Real nice.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, really appreciate that, man.
I don't
Where
think
can I
that's what
get
he's
one of
trying
these
to say.
stickers
That's
if
what
I'm
he's
not going to be at Southeast Linux Fest?
Well, you could always just let me know and I'll send you one.
Okay.
I mean, you're Derek from DistroTube. Of course.
I figured you would put out a link. I mean, like Michael always puts out a link. I was setting you up there.
No, I'm not. I'm not
Big Daddy Live.
I'm not as good of a marketer as Michael is.
He creates those links as he's talking.
Well, you could always go to Big Daddy Links Live and check out all the links there, but
TuxDigital.com/sticker. Oh.
No, there's no stickers on the Big Daddy Links Live yet, but we'll see.
Well, hey, there's an Ohio Linux Fest, which is where I'm at in October, so
nice.
I don't have to go far for that. It's in Columbus at the Hyatt Regency.
So, Scrap, if we gave you tickets, you'd hand them out, right?
That's about 6 hours for me.
That's about 45 minutes for me.
It's about 12 and a half hours for me and Steve.
About 14 for me. So.
I'd have to go to Ohio and turn left.
Yep.
With
all the way across New York.
Truck driving skills, they could probably be there in 12 hours somehow.
Yeah, but I don't know if
it'd be a good 6-8 hours.
Which one's in Columbus? I didn't remember seeing one over there.
Just the Linux Ohio Fest.
Is that what
or Ohio Linux Fest or something like that.
Oh, it's a specific statement. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Ohio
Scrap,
Linux Fest,
Twitch
yeah.
wants to know when the Brass and Twitch wants to know what the date is for the Ohio Fest. You have that?
I think I'm on their website here. It's 12th and the 13th of October.
Nice.
Well, hopefully we can work something out with Ryan through Self to maybe do some type of broadcast down there or interview down there or something.
Yep.
So we're going to try to work something out.
They'll give me a little corner beside Noah's desk.
Are you going to have your phone? Are you going to have your phone, Ryan, or are you going to have a?
Oh no! Oh, real nice. Real cute.
Like a
Yeah,
little
I'm
girl.
a little teenage girl there. And be like, oh my gosh, it's Noah.
You need one of those little microphone sticks like that you see on the newscasters with Destination Linux around it, but have your iPhone set in the middle of it.
See, I was thinking of paying some people to be like a crew, make it look real legit, like have 3 or 4 people rolling in, and like this is the DL crew. We have bodyguards, make it look like I'm really important, and then have my camera calling.
Like have a chest rig for your camera and everything.
Chest
for your phone.
The next conversation with Mrs. Desky, but I need this $1,200 camera. I'm not going to
Yeah, that's right.
But they make fun of me, honey.
I don't think the camera would be the only thing that's red.
How am I going to justify this?
Now I can't bring my camera out at the whole event in case somebody takes a picture of me using it. It'd be embarrassing.
That would be good. That would be straight up on the channel.
Just find a camera for parts and gut it and stick your phone in it.
Yeah, that's a good
Make it
idea.
look real legit.
I like it.
Hack it. Just hack it, man.
Ryan, all you've got to do is nick Zeb's mic. You'll be flooded with
Hey, look, he never makes any other comments about DistroTube's huge mic and dark ones and All the
Come
rest,
on.
is just,
Yeah, but Zeb, that's a mark, dude. That is a mark.
Wait, I gotta match
it
the
is.
rest of you guys. Hang on.
It's a tad large. Yeah, I'll give you that.
There you
It
go.
is large.
You should
Not
hold
bad.
that, Joe. You should hold that through the whole episode.
Yeah, that'd be fun, right? Yeah.
It's actually, I can't even see your mic, Zeb, because it's hidden in the back. It's
Background
exactly
of
the
his
same
shirt.
colour as your shirt. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Also,
Planned that
Rocco,
way.
I think you should stop.
I was told it
calling
sounds better.
Big Daddy stickers, because I just happen to think that Crystal is so cool. She really is. And I think you should call it what somebody in the chat called it, laptop armor. How cool is that? Big Daddy's
Laptop armor.
That is cool, man.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
Wow.
Yeah, I was extremely happy with the way it turned out. So hopefully we'll.
That honestly is shocking. I'm surprised your printer had one little dot right here. I'm sending all 10,000 stickers back, and you will redo it.
Well, actually, the DL stickers came out better than the Big Daddy Linux stickers. The Biddle stickers came out kind of like faded. Like, I don't know, well, not faded. Not exactly clear. Like the DL is. The DL is really nice and clear. So.
Nice.
But we'll send. I'm going to send them off to you in a couple days, there, Ryan.
Very cool. Can't wait.
Have you ever been to one of those before, Ryan?
I have not. No, I've never been. So it'll
Nobody
be.
wants to see
I was toying
butt
about with the idea of going too.
You know, Barbara, that timing of saying that really almost upset me because she was like, "Nobody wants to see you," and I'm like, "God, I guess I won't go to." Fine.
No, this is my
You go. You're so important.
You know, my cats, which are great for comic relief.
No, it was just
Yeah.
great timing. It was brilliant.
And it was funny because I was just thinking everybody's been picking on Ryan so bad this whole episode. Getting out of hand. Let's loose with that.
No, Barbara, like I thought you were always nice to me. What changed? Nobody wants.
You gotta
Oh, I thought I've razzed you enough.
They
at
can't
times.
stand your face. Stay away.
Told you my cats are great for comic relief.
Rocco, that's a great ad for you right there, man, for your Linux Fest. Just a picture of a cat's bottom. Barbara will be there.
Does keep
No,
God.
I've never been to one of the Linux Fests either, and I would love to go to one, but they're always so far away. I mean, they're just always so far away. So
I'm pretty excited for it. Michael may show up with me, so we'll see if Michael goes. He's trying to figure it out, but if Michael will be there, that'll be pretty cool. At least I'll know
Then you
somebody.
won't be alone.
Isn't he?
Yeah. What's that?
He's still tentative.
Well, you know Michael, isn't he always tentative?
But he'll be late if he decides to show.
He's tentative
He'll
until
still
the
be
day I
late.
see him at McDonald's or something, meeting him up there.
yeah,
Like, oh,
he's-
you did make it.
He's hard to nail down.
Get him with some of those voiceovers.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, those are hysterical.
From the last podcast.
People love those voices,
that was
man.
funny.
That was
Those
great.
are hilarious.
Yep.
Well, Crystal, tell us, you've been to many conferences.
In fact, I'm at one right now, but I decided to join you guys tonight instead of going to their social event because it's snowing in Toronto and it's really treacherous. I try to walk out of the hotel and the stairs are so slippery and covered in snow that I was like, I'm not going to survive the night. I'm just going to stay here. So I stayed in the bar and then I joined you instead.
Wow.
Awesome is that?
I'm just south of there, and it's nice and warm. Well, it's kind of wet out here now, but we're going to get that snow eventually.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. I wasn't prepared for
Yeah,
it.
we're supposed to have ice or
Yeah.
something tomorrow.
No more snow.
We've been getting rain. It was downpouring rain last night, and then we've had sleety stuff today or this evening too. And
I noticed
That's what we're supposed to get tomorrow.
it's supposed
I
to be
noticed something
another
really
8
brilliant.
inches.
Canadians don't call hail, they call it ice rain.
Ice rain. That makes sense. I mean, that's
That
to the
is
point.
actually bizarre.
That is.
Was it a chicken in
But what do they do when they're the golf ball size?
That's when
No,
the
hail.
Hitler's gonna go, what the hell? Just, I mean,
Don't say that more.
Good pun.
But yes, no, I have been to a few conferences over the years. And in fact, I've probably been to about 7 in the last 8 weeks.
Wow.
Just a few.
Yeah.
So what is it like to be at one of those conferences?
I mean, it depends. They're all different. You get big ones, you get small ones, you get some that are quite commercial by now, and you get some that are super, super hardcore, sort of community led, and that basically just seem like gatherings of friends.
Right.
But they're usually interesting. They're usually fun. There's usually interesting people. There's interesting talks. So yeah.
Crystal, have you ever had a situation where somebody's come up to you and said, I'm running Linux on my laptop, and Big Daddy said...
This is a pixel off.
Who's that guy running it on Big Daddy Surface Pro on that show?
Yeah, Matt.
I'll be the first to admit it.
That's why I said we ought to all go to this thing and come in, and then they'll get the real feel for the crew, you know.
Stream a show from the surface.
Yeah.
I'm recording one. I'm on one right now.
The FBI would love it. I mean,
we just get one big table and a 360-degree camera right in the center and an omnidirectional microphone.
Security would never let all of us through the door.
No.
Can you imagine the opening of it? We're all sat there. There's beers on the table. Rocco, welcome to Big Daddy's live show.
Well, I hope I'm not doing that on coffee, dude, because I don't drink.
Somebody slipped up man some Kahlua.
Well, no, but security wouldn't let Ryan through the door anyway, so you know. Anything, Ryan?
Whoa. Really?
It looks like he's out the door to begin.
What is this? Pick on Ryan Day, Rocco? You allowing this? I can't believe it.
Colin, what's going on?
It's amazing. It's amazing what he allows to happen to me.
Oh my gosh. So, Crystal, have you ever been to Self?
I have not been to Self, although I know a few people who have submitted talks this year, so there could be some interesting people for you to meet. I shall let you know if their talks are accepted.
Nice.
So that Ryan can go talk to them. Or is that a bad idea?
No, tell them to look for the one that looks like a cat's behind, and then they'll know it's me. Oh, you're Ryan. Oh, we've heard of you.
Oh, you're that guy.
Crystal told us to look for you.
Look for the guy with the XFCE shirt.
There you go. Yep.
No,
Actually, I'm
got-
trying to get a shirt printed of a giant Rocco face, and that's it. And I'm going to walk through there so that you're kind of there in spirit, Rocco.
I'm telling you, dude, that's not a good idea. Totally not a good idea.
You gotta wear your I3 shirt.
I was going to say, make a cross between the I3 shirt that you already made, Ryan, and the back with Rocco's face on.
The back Rocco's
no, like the back of the shirt had Rocco's face on it.
Back of Rocco's face.
The back of Rocco's face. What is that?
That's a bloody mess, is what that is.
Rocco, you got to get some stickers.
This show's getting totally out of control here.
Anyway,
where's my beer?
Are you getting your channel stickers made up to hand out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. When I run out of those, I'll start handing out your channel.
Thanks. Appreciate that. So what you're saying is mine will never hit.
Well, I ordered 30,000, and there's only like 500 people going to the fest, so I don't know.
So
Just drone drop.
Drone drop the stickers.
Yes, but peel them first.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just going to go through the parking lot and apply them because I figure I'll save them time and people will appreciate that.
Well, of course they will.
That's called vandalism.
So Nick
Nice
said
Corvette.
Nick said in the chat, what am I running this week? Like, he acts like I switch every week. I mean,
a good question.
That's so wrong. Nick, how could you? Anyway, Ubuntu.
No, just
proper.
every other week.
Yeah.
I've been on Ubuntu for how long now, Ryan? It's got to have been a month or two, ain't?
I wouldn't go that far.
Come on, it's been a month.
I think it's been a month. Yeah, I wouldn't say
Now,
2
to
months.
be
but
fair,
maybe
you've been on some sort of Ubuntu since I can remember for the most
But
part.
I think you found like a trick to kind of keeping yourself from jumping, which is holding out for the new elementary, and you're just kind of like that's kept you from making any jumps.
Yep, I'm
Good
holding
point.
out for it. I can't wait, dude. Honestly, they have been putting so many good features into that.
I can't blame you.
Can't
I'll
wait.
give it a
I
week.
really hope it works for you, Rocco.
I hope
give
it
it a
does
week.
too.
Disappointed.
Because I was really hoping to, seriously, I was really hoping to stay on Solus. I know everybody makes a big joke out of it and everything, but I was really hoping to stay on Solus. And that just really bummed me out. So
Solus is a really nice OS. It really is.
Yeah,
it is, but it really doesn't like me.
Just to bring Crystal up to speed, we all did some sort of like, this is what we're going to do next year.
Yeah.
Rocco, I think, on about the 24th of December, no, 23rd of December or something. When was that show?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's around there somewhere.
I'm going to be using Solus for a year.
No, it was more than that. He's like, I'm telling you guys, I'm serious. It will be Solus the whole year.
Hey, come on, don't
And
exaggerate.
then before,
How long did you last?
he didn't even make the new year.
I didn't even make it to the new year.
not even 24 hours.
You know, I even hopped a little bit over there myself and started messing with Jack on that and got it running and everything. And I was like, yeah. And then he's gone. I was like, well,
Sorry,
whatever.
man.
Once Rocco left, it wasn't worth staying.
No.
I got the Solus KDE on the laptop back here, so running
There's a
that.
plasma Solus now.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
it's not officially out, but the beta is out for.
They're gonna have it, yeah.
Yeah,
know,
the
you
beta's
guys-
out for patrons, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can't fault somebody for saying they're going to run a distro for a certain amount of time and then they not follow through. Things crop up, little nagging problems, issues come up.
Yeah, if it breaks your production
Thank
flow,
you, Derek. Thank you.
Not in
wouldn't have
12
given
hours, Derek. Not in 12 hours.
You wouldn't have given him so much grief if he'd have said, I'm going to try Solus for a month. But it was a whole year.
Look, Zeb.
Yes, boss.
You're right. You're
Yes,
right.
boss.
I got nothing.
No, if you'd
It
had
was,
on for a week,
but it wasn't like I said, hey, I'm going to run. I mean, it was just a New Year's resolution type thing. That's what it was. It was just like, yeah.
Oh, just a throwaway comment, yeah.
I'm going to run Solus for, that's my prediction. I'm going to run Solus for the year.
Yeah,
And what
I
was
was
it?
wrong.
On January 1st, I said I was going to run
was-
Manjaro KDE for the entire year, and I ran it for a month and hated KDE the whole month I lived in it.
Well, I
It was
have to
just
say,
wishful thinking, Rocco.
Yeah.
That's all.
I made a promise at the beginning of this year to run Peppermint for the whole year, and guess what? I'm still on.
Peppermint.
Now, I've seen some of your
No,
streams.
I'm sorry.
I've seen you running Arch Merge. I've seen you running Calculate. You cheat on Peppermint sometimes.
No, I would never do that. to my
You cheat on
Peppermint.
Peppermint.
How dare you?
No, he
Really?
used different
That's
hard
terrible.
drive. That's on distro hopping for him.
Oh, I'm just dull and boring and stay on Ubuntu Mate.
But no, I'm excited for Linux Lite 4 come out.
Yeah,
that's
was-
your distro. Yeah.
Linux Lite.
that's what my son runs is Linux Lite. I love it. I mean, it's easy for him to figure out, and it's very stable. It runs on an older Dell laptop that we gave him, and he loves playing Minecraft and things like that on it. And I like
Yeah,
Linux Lite.
Linux like solid.
It is solid. I've messed with it and installed the KX Studio repos and stuff on that. It works.
Mhm.
Well, I've yet to watch your video, Steve, the one with the clickbait that's warning Linux spyware is my last operating system ever.
EB would never put a title with clickbait in it. Never, ever.
Clickbait? Really? Bionic Beaver Linux got to work. Clickbait. Where are we going?
I'm glad you're taking some of the heat with me, EB. We'll share it.
Oh, Daz, fill your
I
boots.
wish I had a quarter for every time he said it was his last distro.
I think he almost choked on that.
Man, I had coffee in my mouth. You got to fill your boots.
Ooh.
We need to get DZME on here so the two of them can have their little banter together.
Oh my gosh, I gotta do something with EB. We gotta do something together. It's gonna be too much fun.
That was so funny this week, Zeb. It was just awesome. Why I randomly picked him, I don't know, but he really got into it. It's just hilarious. It really was. And I thought, This is not going to last too long. And sure enough, the hate messages started coming through.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I got 8 messages back. And I love it because the trolls, you know, you get one little face appear on your screen. There's a troll message. And then it just like your screen disappears with all these trolls. It's hilarious. It just cracks me up. It really does.
Yeah. Well, ED said he was going to do a.
Right. That means if you don't have trolls, you're doing something wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Joe. Definitely, you got to have a troll in your life. I've got loads.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why this. If you remember right, that's why Zoom got switched over to please let me in kind of a scenario because we had that with 10-year-old.
Oh yeah, remember that one guy with the mask?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
Well, that was a
weird.
kid. That was a kid. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's like, I think he's
Who
like
was it?
12. I think he switched his name like 4 different times, and I don't remember what it is now. But
he kept jumping in and out. And
yeah. Well, and then I had to like, he was in the waiting room, and he would try to come in, and I put him in a waiting room, and he disconnect, and he'd come back in the waiting room, and oh my gosh, it was a mess.
Well, it really worked for him because he went from 3 to 4 subscribers. He's really climbing the ranks.
Yep.
What the trolls can be fun sometimes. I like messing with the trolls sometimes. I respond to them. Like I had one the other day. He wrote me this long like novel of why I'm an idiot. This video I made is horrible. Everything I said was wrong. And he starts quoting. He goes off on one little thing I said, one sentence I said, some acronym that I said stood for something. It wasn't right. And he was completely wrong. I linked to a Wikipedia article. The first line of the Wikipedia article basically destroyed his argument. And I just leave it at that. But this guy, he must have wrote like 5 pages of the email.
I put anonymous. I don't know how you knew it was me.
Oh, that was you? Okay.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I've talked to Ryan a couple times about this, but I have got some really, really awesome messages from people. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, I mean,
Make
like,
you feel good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I laughed when I read it.
No, I'm like really serious. Like, you wish you would die type messages. Like, I mean, like, I got some really awesome messages sometimes.
You're wondering if you need to report that to the FBI?
Yeah, right? No, seriously.
You know, it's funny, though, because we get some of the nicest comments, like when we're doing the podcast. I mean, people just say some of the nicest things, and you could tell they took time, and it just absolutely amazing. But then you have that one person. You get 20 nice things, and you get that one person that says that nasty thing. And it really does have an effect. Now, after a while, you do get thick skin. You're kind of like, eh. But, you know, it does have an effect. You think about that more than you think about the 20 positive sometimes. And that's where we both, Rocco and I, kind of go back and forth with each other. Like, oh, let's
I
kind of get 20 good stuff.
I get where the trolls are coming from because we've all had bad days. Something just hit you up. You know, you didn't get enough sleep. You're hungry. And you just want to go off on somebody, and it just happened to be you that day. They went off. You know, just don't take it personal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ryan, are you still talking to me?
Yes, Joe. I don't like your nasty comments you leave on my channel every day. Every time I post a video, Joe's the first one like, you moron. No, he says the nicest stuff. He really does.
You're doing it wrong.
It was like the dual booters are schmucks. He was Facebook users are fools. It was like, so I'm listening to this video and he was getting nasty. So I'm thinking, how do I type this so he knows I'm not being harsh? I said, you know, that sounded a little bit.
No, your comment. No, I wasn't talking about you. Your comment was totally fine. I mean, Facebook users are fools. You were wrong, but your comment was totally fine.
I did watch that video, and it was very harsh, Ryan.
Yeah,
controversial.
It was quite passionate.
It was harsh. It was totally
quite
harsh.
Passionate.
No, it wasn't.
But no, Joe, I love that kind of stuff. What people like you and other people leave are comments where they're like, hey, I disagree. Here's why I disagree, blah, blah, blah. That to me is brilliant because now we're learning from each other. The ones I can't stand are the ones where it's like, you're the biggest moron in the world. I hate you and hope you die in a car crash. Well, why? What is it about the video that makes you so mad?
I didn't completely disagree with you. I
You mean you want him to die in a fiery car crash?
The things you were saying, they were bad, but it's like, holy cow! I thought he's in a rare form. So I thought, do I say something like that? I thought, because we know each other, and I think he knows me well enough. I think that's the first time I was even a little. I don't want, because I've always been upbeat about everybody's. For the most part, I like to be that way. But I just thought, holy cow, you were being truthful with how you felt. But I thought, oh my God, yeah, you're a real fool.
That was a video.
I don't remember everything else you said, but it's like, oh,
yeah,
you're kind
Ryan's
of doing
video.
it to make you look good. I thought, wow.
So you don't like it because you love Farmville on Facebook, and I totally get that. I'm just trying to give you the point.
No, and I know you, so I know how you if you're kidding, and I know what the point you're trying to get across.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow. So I thought I kind of tease a little bit, and you come with, that was just a little bit kind of saying. I thought, watch, she's going to be mad at me now, and you won't say nothing to me on Saturday.
I would never be mad at that. Honestly, stop with the guilt. You're okay, Joe.
All right.
I loved your comment. I truly loved it because everybody has their different opinions on stuff, and I feel very passionately about that subject. That doesn't mean my personal opinion on it is always right. It usually is, but it doesn't mean it's always
okay. I don't mind people sharing opinions. It's when people argue with you about facts.
Exactly.
When they're clearly wrong and they write you a 5-page email.
Yeah.
Stating
if Michael was here, he would give some great examples of that. He was telling us in Telegram about
Michael,
some of the comments he gets.
I would love to do a video sometime of some of these messages I've saved.
I don't mind the comments. I don't mind the trolls. I don't mind the vile comments. What I absolutely detest is that one person on the planet whose sole reason for their existence is to hit that thumb down button.
I know.
You always get one thumb down.
That's what you should do, though, EB. You should make a video and do what all the YouTubers do and say, smash that thumbs down button.
But there's still somebody here that has a channel. Do you all have that one guy that as soon as you post, 10 seconds in, there's already a thumbs down? He hasn't watched the video, but somebody is like trolling you in a big way.
It's got to be just have Linux.
It's got to be that
Linux in the description. That's all. I believe there's somebody that looks for Linux and just puts a thumbs down on a lot of videos.
It's a Windows fan.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
The other comment that I love so much, and I see so many people doing it, is you upload a video, you're dead excited, you think, I can't wait to see the response. First comment. First.
Well, at least they're excited to be a part of it. They're like, I was here first. I got to watch it first. Yes.
Well, it's bad.
What gets me though is when first comes after the first comment, and you think, donut, you're not first.
Yeah.
And you just downvote anyone that's not first.
I think
in all seriousness, though, I did think that you had a lot available, and I do agree with a lot of what you're saying, because part of it is we've gotten so used to this stuff with not just even the discussions we have about Linux, we get on Windows, all that stuff. Facebook and privacy has been a big discussion with a lot of this stuff too. My thing was and I see it from a business standpoint because my wife uses it and I've used it. But I do think that it's just that we've gotten so used to it now. It's like your cell phone. You leave your cell phone at home, you feel like you cut off your arm. It's kind of the same thing.
Sometimes it's freeing, though, to leave it home.
What's that?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's freeing just to leave it home.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But it's just, it's. I think it's just what people have gotten so used to and ingrained. And then
I see it as a jumping off point where you can finally get people who don't think about this stuff at all to start thinking about it.
Exactly.
And the title was totally clickbait worthy, and I kind of mentioned it at the very beginning of the video.
Oh, I know.
Click this,
you would never do.
Yeah, well, never. But it's such an important topic to grab people who otherwise, number one, don't even think about it, sign up for everything that comes in front of them, give their phone number, personal information, everything to everyone. And then, all the arguments that I hear about Facebook, people don't understand that it's like I heard so many arguments that were just like, well, I only post, every 6 months, so I'm okay. Well, no, the second you sign into that thing, the second you sign into it, it's tracking you when you leave it. If it's on your phone, it's tracking everything you're doing when you're on your phone. It's not a little thing where you can just keep it closed and only use it every 6 months to talk to my cousin or whatever, and you're fine. It's grabbing stuff all the time, and that's what makes Facebook particularly damaging, and Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. That other social services are bad in some ways, but not nearly stretched as far as Facebook. And by the way, we don't even know the half of what Facebook's doing. All we know about Facebook is what they've been caught. They're closed source. So they could be doing all kinds of other things behind the scenes we have no idea about.
Well, did you watch any of the hearings with Zuckerberg? I watched part of them. And when he was asked something, and he would give them this very arrogant stare if it wasn't done in geek speak. And, like he was so much better. And
he answered like a typical politician is what he did.
Yes, he did. And he doesn't care. The guy's got no soul. He doesn't care. I mean, that's just the way it is.
But the thing about this too is like you're absolutely right too, Ryan, about but think about what it's done. How many people judge their relationships by this? Like if somebody drops somebody off their friends list or whatever, and they say,
people get all
they get really offended and crushed. And it's a social media site, for God's sake. So.
It's not even real. It's pixels on a screen.
Yep.
And not only that, but people put this persona about themselves. It's not even true. How many people just kind of...
Well, that causes all kinds of psychology issues as well, which I didn't even get into in the video, but there are all kinds of studies done where there's lots of depression and things caused by those sites. But even outside that, the thing I try to get across in the site is people say this information I'm sharing isn't important. It was important enough for a government to militarize it against an election. I mean,
exactly.
And I don't care what side you're on. That was the fact, right? Foreign governments used it to manipulate people. So...
And they were successful.
It's obviously some importance there to this platform that's outside of just you posting about your nachos on Sunday.
Yeah, the two things that I normally will approach people with is, number one, what are the quality of your relationships with people that you know, and your circle of people that you work with and that you live with, and then the people that like my group of friends. Probably like 10 of us, and we get together 4 or 5 times a year. Some of us live close, some of us live out of town, but we make sure we always get together somehow and always see each other's faces and talk and actually hear each other's voices, because this social media stuff has degraded our relationships. We don't think about how many times you're talking with somebody that you know well enough, but you end up cutting each other off in conversation. Like we're bad at speech. We're bad at dialogue. Dialogue too. There's two people speaking. Sometimes you got to listen, and then you got to speak. It's two ways, but you can't do both.
Did you say something?
Right? See? So on that hand, that's one way I come about it. And then the other hand is, like Das was getting at, it's like, what is being fed to you?
Yep. And people think they can't be manipulated by that. And that's the other point I tried to make, is that you're not smart enough that you can't be manipulated by this stuff. Marketers spend their entire lives figuring out ways how to manipulate you. Believe me, as smart as you think you are, they're doing it successfully. And you can't just be like, well, it's not going to affect me. They're not going to change my election vote or my thoughts on this or this problem or that. Yes, they certainly can. I mean, this is what they spend their entire life figuring out, is how to manipulate you. And by the way, you're giving them all the data, so they know exactly what triggers to pull to manipulate you.
And did you say in your video something about how, Russia, if Russia dropped a bunch of pamphlets of the United States, it would be tantamount to, an act of war?
So was this.
But this is totally legal to just buy a bunch of advertisements. And don't think our government doesn't do it, because all governments do it to everybody.
I think there's a massive area here that never gets talked about, and it's this. When I was very young and at school, when I used to get home and I was tired from a heavy day learning and all the girls hitting on me.
Obviously, let that one marinate.
My home was a sanctuary. Nobody could touch me there. It was my little space. Fantastic. Now, if you go back 2 or 3 generations, you can get to people 24/7. And by the time these generations get to our age, they're going to have such a data set of profiles on these people. It's scary. And these are young children we're talking about. They're not adults. They're kids. Let them be kids. Let them have a little bit of private space to be children.
Yep, that's such a good point.
And that's what worries me.
You know what was interesting about that, though, Steve? When we had some storms here and they had flooding and there was massive power outages, you know what amazed people the most that they said they hadn't seen in probably who knows how long? Children playing in the street. Could you imagine that?
Yep.
Because nobody does anymore. They're always glued to their electronics. I mean, I put a picture together a while back that showed the American family in the 50s sitting at a dinner table, eating and having a conversation, and a family now in recent years, and every one of them sitting with a phone or an electronic device in front of them, even at the dinner, if they're at the dinner table at all.
But you know, I have a problem with this view on kids. Having kids myself, one of the issues is these kids get harassed constantly in this generation.
Great.
You know, in your generations and in mine, I could go out and I did stupid things, kicking neighbors' fences, whatever. Today, the cops are harassing these kids. All the older adults who were once kids aren't like you, EB, and me, who would be like, "Oh, the kid did something stupid. I'm going to go talk to their father and get this worked out." They call the cops, and then the cops overreact and put these kids in jail. So the only safe place kids can be themselves is sitting in front of an electronic. If you want them to go out and be outside and things, then create environments where they're not going to be harassed, where they can do so and be kids. But it's not available out there.
When we were growing up, we had those environments. They don't have them now.
Yep, skate parks, and we had arcades in the malls and those type of things that adults would look at as, you know, a bunch of dumb kids over there, blah, blah, blah. But those were our places to hang out. Now there's
nothing socialized.
Hooligans, yeah, exactly, Rocco. No, that's what they thought. But at least the adults were a little more, you know, like I have neighbors now that just, you know, they'll call the cops on anything that happens in the neighborhood. Fortunately, my kids are too young to do anything, but it scares me because I'm like, man, adults are... They don't remember what it was like to be a kid anymore.
Yeah,
they're so angry and so wrapped up in their own life that they just...
And I tell you, Ryan, when I drive by some of the schools here in the UK and I see 10, 11-year-old female children, I like to call them, right? And they've got short skirts, they've got black stockings, they've got magma. These are... they're not young women explore. These are children. Really? And that's now. It scares me to death. And then we wonder why there's all these weirdos in the world. Because we just sexualize everything from a ridiculous... Let the girls be girls. If they want to play with dollies, let them play with dollies. Does everything have to be online and in your face? You know what I mean?
That's the marketing. It's the marketing that does that, because you know, what's on TV has changed so much. There's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of sexual annotations and whatever you want to call it on TV, that it makes people grow up way too quick than what it used to be, because we never had that content when we were younger. And no, and I think we were a lot more innocent. We had to explore for ourselves or whatever. But I mean, nowadays it's just in everyone's face. It's in all the kids' face at such a young age. And let's face it, if you give a 5-year-old kid a phone, they could be just on the internet watching whatever. Because, you know, there's nothing stopping them.
And if you don't give your kids a phone or something, they know somebody who does have one.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're a bad parent. Yeah.
And they'll chuck a tantrum.
What's interesting is also like the thing with the phones. I substitute teach. I used to teach full time, but now I just substitute teach. And one of the schools that I substitute in, they take all the kids' phones when they come in. If there's an emergency, guess what? There's an office. They'll get a hold of the kid. And there's a lot less problems when the kids don't have phones in the classroom. They don't need them. You know, they gripe at the beginning of the school year, but then they realize that's a part. They don't have to worry about what their friends are saying or anything.
Less of them probably bring them to school to begin with. And less of them probably bring them.
Yeah, they don't. They don't bring them. And if they do, they're put in an envelope with their name on it, and they can't go to homeroom without turning that phone in.
And the final thing that really scares me is that I reckon within 10 years there'll be a new medical phenomenon, and it's going to be called phoner's neck. And you're going
my chiropractor's office has all of the stuff. It's like, don't be like this.
Yeah,
like this. You know, and I see it all the time. It's like Hunchback of Notre Dame everywhere.
Well, not only that, but they have a thing. It's called
on their phones.
Which for years it was called Gamekeeper's Thumb. It's where you actually get almost like a trigger finger in your thumb. Well, now they call it Texture's Thumb, but it's the exact same thing.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, before we go any further, Brassman joined. What's going on, man?
Brass.
How you doing?
Awesome.
Howdy.
Trying not to infringe.
No, it's good.
Well, you joined, and like we were in the middle of a deep conversation, so I didn't want you to think we're completely rude, but
and it was completely not Linux, of course.
And it was completely off Linux, so it was off topic, but it's all
do
good.
that sometimes.
Every once in a while, we get it off on a tangent. But anyway, go ahead. I just wanted to make sure everybody said hi.
Yeah.
Ryan, did you check what I put up on the Telegram channel?
I didn't message up? He missed it.
Let me check.
It's up there.
I see that.
Oh.
Took me a few minutes to find it.
Oh, real funny. Real funny.
That's
there
great.
You go.
Oh, that's great, Rocco, huh? That's
nobody to
I was talking about this email I received, not the cat picture or anything like that.
The cat behind you
now dust hat.
Yes.
Since Brassman joined us, I wanted to ask him about his username. Brassman, do you play a brass instrument? Is that why you have that username? And if so, what instrument do you play?
Primarily trombone, actually.
Trombone?
Oh, nice.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, your volume's a bit low. Yeah.
You're a trombone player? That's great. Okay, that's great. I've got 2 degrees in trombone performance, actually.
Do you?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Nice.
Little known fact.
You'll have to do a trombone rap.
And here I thought you were just.
I may play one day on a video. Do a.
Wait, dude. Like Scrap will play the guitar. You can play the trombone. We could just have a whole group.
And I play the bagpipe.
There you go.
Linux ska
there we go. Blare y'all out.
I was gonna say, Rocco, there's your new theme right there.
Right? I know.
And Rocco's an incredible singer. If you guys haven't heard it.
Yeah. Incredible.
And for the first time live,
Lamer's got a guitar too. See, we can have our own eclectic Linux band.
There we go.
Yeah.
Who can play spoons?
Oh, I got that one. That's like the i3 of instruments. Spoons.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Whatever.
Always figure a way to bring out. After all this rapping talk and that, you will need Zeb's mic.
Wow. Zeb, he just won't let that go, will he?
He's just so jealous. I'm going to post it to him.
That is the most awesome mic ever.
I'm going to put it in the post for him, I tell you.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
That's great.
So what are you running, Brassman?
Currently a Ubuntu Studio.
Cool.
Ooh.
I'm running the beta right now.
How's that so far?
No problems yet. There was a Nouveau driver issue at first for NVIDIA, so I don't know if they've gotten that fixed yet, but I know it's in the works.
I see.
Well, I haven't had any issues beside that sound switching in the Ubuntu regular 1804, so it's actually pretty good. If I'm running it as the main driver, it's pretty good.
Cool.
But, it's 12:28. You know what that means?
It ain't pumpkin time.
Last word.
Time already.
It's pumpkin time.
Last call for alcohol.
Last calls. So, yeah, because by the time we get done with the last call, it'll be 12:30, and yeah, it'll be wrapped up, and we'll come back for another week. All right, last words, Colin.
Oh God, am I first? Well, PC TLC is all I've got to say tonight, and that's about it.
Yeah, check out Colin's channel, PC TLC.
Will do.
Scrap.
Thanks for having us again, Rocco. That's all.
Way to be. Matt?
Thanks for having, like Scrap said, thanks for having us, Rocco. Always appreciate it. It's always a fun time.
Scrap's channel is Scrap Joel Studios, and Matt's channel is Dark. What is it?
Dark 1778.
There you go.
Well, I'm just Scrap Jaw on YouTube, and then I'm Scrap Jaw everywhere, anywhere at Scrap Jaw anywhere. You'll probably find me.
But to shorthand that, I'll plug Michael. It's tuxdigital.com/dark1. Just
See, that's what I was what I was looking for.
You didn't have to do that.
Flash Amazon.
I know, but there's no Michael to plug his own site, so somebody's got it.
It was fine. It was going to be a great episode.
Oh. Okay. Anyway.
Lamer.
Linux Light 4 is going to be no one.
When is that due out?
I think June, maybe.
All right. Waiting for it. Derek.
Well, now that Ryan has figured out I was making fun of him in that rap video, I'm going to await his response. I expect a response rap video.
I actually already wrote the lyrics to it.
Are you going to trash X-Monad the way I trashed
Derek? Yeah, there's a couple lines in here. I mean, we could share.
It's that whole East Coast West Coast beef thing. I'm Tupac. You're Big.
Like roaring on the scene, and I'm fit to be mean. Watching Distro Tube rap is like swallowing Listerine. Your first line. That'll be your that's your preview.
Work on it.
You can check out Derek's channel at DistroTube on YouTube. EB, last word.
I guess it would have to be Bionic Beaver. Why would you not come to Linux?
Okay, so you can always check out EB's channel, right? He's got some great content. Check it out.
Yeah,
Ryan?
Definitely. Check out this episode of Destination Linux coming out. It's going to be an awesome one. We got an awesome interview this week.
Yep. Barb?
I want to thank Rocco. I really do want to thank you for this. This is great every week.
We love doing it, Barb. We
It
love
is.
doing it.
I love it.
Joe?
A couple quick things. First of all, at the risk of getting shot over here, I'm going to follow Ryan's lead. If you're not on Linux, you're a fool.
Nice. Love it.
Thank you for the
Go,
Joe.
Bring the pain.
All right, Zeb.
I'm going to echo Ryan and say check out Destination Linux episode 66. It's going to be really rocking.
You can check out Crazy Trucker Zeb on his channel, Zebedee Boss. And
watch out for you driving a caravan.
All right, Brassman, last word.
Oh, just thanks for having me. Thanks for letting the new guy in. And if you guys want, you can catch me on Twitter, same name.
Nice.
Cool.
I already subbed to you.
Definitely do that. You're more than welcome to join us next week, 10:30 Eastern. All right, last word for wait, is Crystal here? Crystal, are you here? Crystal.
No.
It's 5:30 in the UK. She might have nodded off. Oh, she's in Canada, though.
Yeah, she's in Canada.
She's in Toronto, so it's Eastern time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll say Crystal's last word is my last word too. So check out Destination Linux episode 66 Monday. Hopefully Monday at 8 a.m. because I haven't started editing yet. And I think you'll enjoy it. Until next week, everybody have a good week.
You
See
too.
you.
Good night.
Later.
Thanks for coming. Cheers, everybody. Peace. Much love.
See you, mate.